7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, and welcome to the AI for 2022 Cybersecurity Summit. We hope you are ready for 2 days of deep diving into the impact AI is having on cybersecurity. We're excited for you to meet our incredible speakers who are leading cyber initiatives at some of the world's top companies. And a special thanks to this year's presenting sponsor, Fortinet. Since we're all about artificial intelligence, we thought it made sense to have an AI welcome you to this amazing event. Without any further ado, please allow me to introduce, drumroll please, myself. In case you did not notice, I'm an AI-generated actor. To create this welcome video, our co-founder Michael Weiss simply typed this script into a text box, and then the computer did the rest. AI-generated synthetic media like myself can be used in many ways, from marketing videos to movies. People like me are considered deep fakes, but I don't really like the term myself as I feel quite real. Lucky for you, I represent just the tip of the AI iceberg. Today you will encounter many exciting innovations that are only made possible thanks to intelligent machines. I wish you an amazing conference experience. And if you like this summit, I hope to see you all in Las Vegas this August 16th to 18th for the AI industry's greatest event, AI for 2022. You can expect thousands of AI-interested attendees, hundreds of AI exhibitors, 250 speakers, and a ton of AI fun. Now I'll introduce a human to say hello as well. Take it away, Patrika.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the AI for 2022 Cybersecurity Summit. We are so glad to have everyone here digitally. My name is Patrika Elise, and I'll be your MC for the next hour of the show. We've got some incredible content planned for you today. I just have a few key items to run through before we get started. This conference, as you've probably noticed, runs on the SwapCard event platform. Everything you need to have an amazing summit experience can be found right here. First, let's talk about networking. In order to find your connection request, meeting request, and conversations with other attendees, simply click on the My Event button, which you can find here. By clicking into this feature, you'll be able to view your networking conversations and connection requests, and see your meetings and meeting requests. Now, let's talk about the AI exhibits. The AI for 2022 Cybersecurity Summit features incredible AI products and services that were hand-selected by the AI4 team. Each one of these companies has the ability to help you push your company forward. Take a second to click around the virtual booths and explore what they have to offer. Inside, you can find more information about each company, as well as helpful white papers and other downloadables. And that's it. We think you'll find SwapCard very intuitive and easy to use. Now that you're familiar with the SwapCard platform and how to use it, let the AI for 2022 Cybersecurity Summit begin. I'll now welcome Daniel Lackland, the content producer of AI4, to introduce today's agenda and the first speaker.
What's up, everyone? We hope you are very excited about the AI for 2022 Cybersecurity Summit. Thank you for being here. This is an event specifically tailored for our cybersecurity community who want to learn about and stay up to date on AI use cases. Today, we have our general session content, followed by our breakout tracks, covering AI for specific areas such as threat detection and response, data privacy and security, and our technical track. Throughout the event, remember that you can ask the speakers questions and discuss ideas in real time during every talk by way of the chat box feature in SwapCard. Now, for our first speaker, Parthasarathi Chakraborty, Associate Vice President and Head of Cloud Security, Innovation, R&D at Humana. Partha has over 25 years of cybersecurity technology and leadership experience in financial services, insurance, and the healthcare industry. He is an active speaker and panelist in cybersecurity conferences around the world and very much passionate about learning new technologies and writing articles on recent security trends. He is currently heading up cloud security architecture, engineering, and security innovation and R&D for Humana, Inc. Prior to Humana, Partha held technology leadership roles with Merrill Lynch, Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, Guardian Life Insurance Company, and Bank of Montreal. Without any further ado, please welcome Partha to the virtual stage. Fairly short on time today, and we have a lot to cover. So without any further ado, could you introduce yourself and your role at Humana?
Sure. So Partha Chakraborty, I'm the Associate VP. I'm heading up cloud security function, which includes architecture, engineering, and operations. Also, I wear a second hat, and that is I am heading up the innovation and R&D for entire cyber program in Humana.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's a big role. Two big roles, actually. Okay, so in your work, how do you see the cloud security landscape changing, and what is affecting these changes?
So first thing is that the adoption has increased compared to what we used to see like maybe a year or 2 years ago. And a lot of things are also driven by the pandemic. People are working from home. A lot of the collaboration tools are being available in cloud. So the adoption has increased because you cannot go back and do the same way you used to do the previous days, like either going to office or working in VPN. So more and more tools are coming up in cloud. Adoption has increased a lot. A lot of the PaaS applications, a lot of the SaaS applications has been deployed and getting quickly deployed by the cloud service providers and different application vendors. As a result, it is also changing the landscape of your risk, and your risk surface is increasing. So securing cloud in the past was already a daunting task. Now I will say like it is going to be compounded even more by the rapid adoption, release of new features, and the business interest. That also increases the risk surface. So that's what is changing in the cloud space and making our life a little bit more complicated.
Yeah, sounds it. So it sounds like with so much adoption of cloud, and probably so many people providing those services, do you find that the risk is different based on which partner you're working with, or you find that there's a lot of similarities? How do you approach that?
So that's actually a great question. And as you can see, like things are coming up in the news, like doesn't matter which company you're working with, there are companies where, because most of the time the cybersecurity issues are not because of how solid your tool is, it's what are the detection capabilities of a human error. Right? You are keeping the doors open unintentionally. You don't know. What are the mechanisms you have to detect it early? And so far, I'm not taking the name, starting from the largest company in Silicon Valley to even the smallest company, everybody has shown that the human errors do happen. There are issues in security. There are issues in availability, resilience, right? And also the keeping your confidentiality of data intact. So I wouldn't actually single out any particular cloud service provider or vendor that, okay, this is better than that. Everybody is prone to challenges. And it, again, not to tell that it is all depending on the cloud service provider, it also depends on us as you're using. And also what type of footprint you're using. If you're using infrastructure as a service, then CSPs provide a certain part and we are responsible, like according to that responsibility model, for certain things to take care of. So it's a combination. I wouldn't call out like one is better than other. It's the job. They have to do their job in a flawless way, have to adopt more and more automation and ensure the posture management things are done properly. We as the users of the services and taking the applications, when we take the applications to cloud, we have to do our job as well. So that's how I will put it. There is a risk and it depends on both parties. So we all have to do our job properly.
Got it. Yeah, thank you so much for that answer. And then to move to the other part of your role, I know you mentioned that you focus a lot on cybersecurity innovation and research and development. So how do you approach what many consider to be a very challenging area? What is your approach here for these two items?
Sure, that's actually a great question. So innovation is needed in everything that we do. I mean, it doesn't matter whether we're in cyber or we're in manufacturing, right? Without innovation, your company does not move fast. You don't have the competitive advantage against your, like in case of a business application, right? Against your competition. In case of cybersecurity, innovation is happening on the other side of the house. Like bad actors are continuously innovating. So on the defensive side, if we are not innovating, then we will be facing the challenge pretty soon. So in order to make sure like we get the right focus and value and benefit out of innovation, we use two principles, right? Number one, do not make security innovation as a science project only. What I mean by that is that, right, you can have a lot of ideas and spend hours, days, months, like on behind those ideas. And at the end, because innovation is such an area which is not guaranteed, you can invest your time. At the end, the outcome of that, proof of concept or testing could be no, it cannot be implemented, or this is not the right solution, right? So when we embark upon our innovation journey, we have to address the right areas, because as I say, there is no guaranteed outcome that the outcome will always be successful, right? And throughout the year, you don't want to invest your time and picking up areas where the outcome is negative. End of the year, what value you are bringing to the business. So the way we try to approach towards this problem is that first, try to list out what are the gaps and the business challenges. Then prioritize those things. What is most important right now, right? Some of the things are non-negotiable. There's a huge gap. We need to find out a solution right now, and we need to close it ASAP, right? Those are the things you pick up and start investing your time and put some structure around it, right? Innovation does not mean that you will be meeting with like anybody and everybody in, say, Bay Area startup or Israeli security startup companies. And then you pick up, spend like 2 months, and then all of a sudden jump to a different product. So first, define the business problem or the objective you're trying to accomplish. Then have a structured approach, right? List out your risks and the use cases that you are going to validate. It's obvious that all the problems you are trying to solve, you may not find one single product and solution that meets all of your requirements. So stack rank your priorities, give some weightage against what is most important to you, and start doing your testing and your investigation in a methodical way. List out the outcome, make it more data-driven so that when it comes to doing a decision, it is more of a data-driven approach, and you can justify to the leadership the return on investment. I have worked in areas or companies where innovation, people eventually spent a lot of time, did not see the right outcome for the business. And it is very critical in order to get funding and support for your innovation function, you have to keep justifying the ROI or the value of this function. So I would say like addressing the right problem, having a data-driven approach, prioritizing and executing in a proper methodical way is the key to success. The second part is the team that you choose in innovation. You have to have a passionate group of people and who are very comfortable in doing things in an uncomfortable way, day in and day out. Because when it comes to innovation, it's not a clearly laid out territory, right? There is no answer. You are trying to solve a problem where nobody tells you that you have to do X, Y, or Z. You are the one, your creativity, your passion, you're going to find it out how to do it, right? So you need to have a technically rock solid team who also understands the value to business, who are passionate about doing innovation, and who are very comfortable learning every day. Because not a single day in innovation, you do something which you are repeating what you learned from yesterday, right? Every day you are learning new. So these are the two things. If you focus on that with a methodical data-driven approach and selecting the right team who are really passionate and technical about it, will definitely bring success to your innovation program.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Partha. Really good content there. So what would you say is an example of successful AI in action in cybersecurity? And could you tell us a story about this example? What was the problem, and how did it go in the end?
Perfect. So there are many examples, right? I mean, a lot of the cyber tools, hardly you will find any cyber tool coming from the vendor community which does not use the capabilities of AI and machine learning and big data behind it, right? These are the three things have become the theme in cyber. But let me give you an example, right, where AI became very important for the solution, right, or the type of solutions we use. So in security world, we all are familiar with the term NDR, EDR, like network detection response, endpoint detection and response. Then you have the SIEM tool. Now, you need a combination of all three, like NDR, EDR, and a SIEM tool. I found a great analogy, and I actually posted in my LinkedIn a few weeks ago. NDR is like the GPS view when you're driving your car. You can see that helicopter view where you have the traffic condition. Is there any accident in your road or your transport network? EDR is like your car dashboard, right? Which is basically tell you your temperature of the engine, your fuel meter, your tire pressure. So all the instrumentation about the car that you are sitting and driving, what is the condition of the car, right? That is your endpoint detection and remediation and response tools, right? EDR. SIM is like your car dash cam, right? Which is basically telling in your immediate vicinity, right? In your next lane, whether it's a car is coming or what's behind you, right? But without that NDR, you don't have the holistic approach when you are driving a car from a source and a destination. You need like all three. You need your dash cam, you need your car indicators, meters. Also, you need the GPS to see the areas you are driving through, what is the traffic condition, accident, road condition, and everything. When we were selecting that we need to have better visibility in our tool in an XDR and the SIM space, right? We were debating a lot. Do we need all three or we need a combination of product? Then we settled on that we need NDR. We already have EDR and we had SIM. We did not have NDR at that time. And when we were meeting with vendor partners on the NDR solution, there are a lot of deployment modes. You can deploy NDR in your flat network to detect traffic in the east-west direction, which is the literal movement as a security guy, as you say. And also in the north-south, right, your internet traffic. Now, when your traffic is traversing on the north-south direction, you can intercept that traffic. You can put yourself in the middle of it. And you can see what is flowing through your encrypted communication, right? In the SSL interception, we call it like a man in the middle. And you can only put yourself in the middle and see the traffic if you can literally go in the middle of the traffic, right? You cannot go what I call out of band. That means a traffic is flowing, you capture the traffic, try to replay it, you cannot see what is the content inside it. So then we started debating, since NDR will be put in east-west, in the lateral movement in your network, it will not be in the path of your traffic flow. That means it will be placed out of band. What it means, I'm actually going into the technical term in the depth. What it means is that you will eventually capture traffic from a point and then feed it to the tool to replay it. By definition of SSL and the TLS version 3 challenges, you cannot replay and get the visibility into the traffic. You are not in the path of the traffic, right? Then the question becomes, does that mean NDR is useless, right? Which is not the case. What the community has done, they have done a phenomenal job leveraging AI truly. They don't have to be in the middle of the traffic right now. There are tons of instrumentations and indicators of compromise and other behavioral aspects where those are fit into an algorithm. Then looking into those instrumentation aspects driven by the AI tool, without getting in the middle of the traffic, they can actually say what is a suspected malicious, what is a potentially bad or a good traffic. So this will be a perfect example where without AI, there is no other way to tell whether it is a good or a bad traffic for a security guy. And NDR or XDR tools, which came into the market, which leverages AI a lot to solve this problem. Without AI, there was not a solution unless you put them in line of the traffic, which is just impossible for your corporate network when you talk about east-west movement. So I'll just take a pause. I know there are a lot of technical terms, and this is the community of technical people. They all will understand, but this was one of the best examples I liked where without AI, there was absolutely no solution to this problem.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much, Partha. Really interesting answer. And I know you started by saying, hey, there's a lot of examples here. You know, this is one that I like. In your opinion, is there a cutting edge of AI in cybersecurity that in your mind is the clearest, most advanced way to approach AI in cybersecurity?
So I will say, like, there are a lot of tools that come with AI, right? There are a lot of things which does like a unsupervised and supervised learning. The maturity is of these tools is in many cases still not at a level that you will leave it completely unsupervised and forget about it, right? I mean, it will do everything for you. There are some tweaking, some human intervention is needed, but in order to, and again, it will continue, right? The AI will improve, adoption will increase, your accuracy will definitely improve. The more data you fit in, the more accurate that tool will be. And you can only fit in more data if you have more adoption, right? So it's like a catch-22. Unless you use it more, you don't get more value out of it. But till you get to use it more and get more value out of it, I will say like, choose your use case very carefully where you get more return on your investment of time and the resources. One of the best area where more cutting edge advantages of AI that we get is the security operations center, right? There are so many feeds and tools that are coming in and feeding information. There is no end of writing automated scripting, right? You cannot set up an army of people to look into the log and make it correlation and detection manually. Even if you have an army of people, the volume of alerts coming in, the amount of effort needed to do those correlation is just impossible. Humanly, you cannot do that. So what it means, that means that we have to leverage automation. We have to write a lot of automation, robotic processing tools and all those stuff. So in those areas, you cannot automate everything. I mean, you cannot define all the logic that you need to automate a particular process and things. You need to embrace the power of AI that is given by most of the SOC tools these days to make your life easier and reap most benefit out of it. So I would say like, choose your use case properly. Operations is an area where more and more adoption, or even hunting, threat hunting is an area where more and more adoption we will see. And the more we use it, the tools will even get more better and we will reap more benefit out of it.
I see. Then just one clarifying question. So it sounds like you would say that SOC automation is one of the areas with that where, it is low hanging fruit, high ROI use case. Am I understanding you right?
Yeah, in SOC and hunting, AI makes the perfect sense, high ROI, right? Because manually, or even by creating automation, there is no end to it. It will be huge effort. So we need to leverage those advanced technologies there. Always a pleasure talking to you guys in AI4, and you guys are doing an amazing job. So I hope everybody enjoys the day and a lot of good content. Thank you for having me.
All right, Partha, thanks for your insights. And thank you all for watching. Now, please make your way to your next session. Also, don't forget to check out the networking, accept your connection requests, and explore the AI exhibits. Have a great time. Woohoo!